Guys, I just want to, we've only known Tom for about 2, 3 weeks, I think, really. But I mean, the impact this guy has is just incredible. You're gonna be blown away by what this gentleman has to say. He's definitely, the story he has is phenomenal. I'm not going to steal his thunder, however, because he is incredibly good at delivering his story. What are you going to talk about today, please, Tom?
Well, the biggest thing I want to convey is that, first of all, we're all superheroes. But I think one of the challenges for people is they believe they don't deserve to be superheroes. They don't deserve the greatness that they truly have in their lives that they can attain. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about my story and some basic strategies that people get started immediately. And at the end, as you fellows know, we're going to give a free virtual book that I've written called The Superhero Factor, which is essentially a playbook, a daily playbook to have all the things you need to become a superhero every single day and to crush every single villain that comes across your path. No questions.
Absolutely incredible. Well, Tom, the floor is yours. Please take it away, superhero. We'll see you in a minute.
All right. Well, Andy and Miguel and all the incredible speakers, I've enjoyed listening to everybody. And if I can help everybody's lives a little bit today in my presentation, I feel very humbled.
Take it away, sir.
All righty. As you can see in the background is the Spider-Man suit. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I have that official suit here. My name is Tom Terrific Schenck, and I am an entrepreneur. I am a global educator and the first actor to portray Spider-Man for Marvel Comics. And today I'm going to give you some strategies as to how you will be able to crush your villains in your life forever. But first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about my story and how these strategies worked for me. I was never supposed to be alive. In fact, my two brothers died at birth of spina bifida. Spina bifida is a fatal spinal defect, but I made it. Barely. I was a skinny little kid raised on a farm in Minnesota. And like all little kids, I admired my dad and wanted to be like him, but it was a tall order. My dad was a college letterman in football, basketball, and track, and the Golden Gloves middleweight champion for both Minnesota and North Dakota. That's pretty hard to compete with. So comic books became my sanctuary. I spent a lot of nights under the covers with my flashlight reading about superheroes like Spider-Man, Superman, and these guys fearlessly crushed villains with their special powers. But most importantly, I learned their values like courage and tenacity. And those values and many others would become the roadmap of success for my life. But it was not an easy road. I was told that I was not smart enough to take anything but the slow classes because my standardized test scores were so poor. I tried out for the wrestling team, and I was pinned every single match in my freshman year. But after years of reading my comic books and believing the super values and remembering the quotes of my superheroes, I was inspired to never quit. I was determined to never give up. In fact, there are some quotes that I always think about, even now. There was a superhero called the Green Lantern. And one of the things I remember him saying was, in the brightest day, in the darkest night, no evil will escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. He had his own unique power, as you probably remember. And then, of course, there's Captain America. And Captain America once said, when the world is doubting you and telling you to move away, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and tell the whole world, no, you move. And then Batman, I remember him saying, whether the villains of failure are physical or mental, they can bring death to our dreams. We must always fight on. And then there was the mighty Thor. He said, when life doth seemed too much to bear, it is not the time to renounce the struggle. The ostrich hides, the jackal flees, but man and God do persevere. And then lastly, Spider-Man, who said, not everyone is made to make a difference. But for me, the choice to lead an ordinary life is no longer an option. And that was the option I chose. So I knew in my heart that if I could find the powers to crush my villains, I would never give up in spite of so many failures I had early in my life. Ultimately, I went on to graduate from an Ivy League on an academic scholarship and wrestle in the Olympic trials. Later, I went to New York. And this is where it got very interesting. I wanted to be an actor. And I had an agent, and I got a call. And he said to me, Tom, there's a gig at Marvel Comics. You got to get over there in 5 minutes. He hung up. And I said, what? Marvel Comics? What the heck's that? What's that about? So I jumped in the taxi, flew up to Midtown, arrived at the Marvel Comics building, took the elevator all the way up to the 19th floor and opened the door. This was the executive offices. And there I saw a lot of men and women in professional attire. But at the same time, it was also crowded with all the crazy guys. These were the artists. These were the cartoonists. And they were all there, staring at me. I felt like fresh meat. Then all of a sudden, a very officious woman comes up to me and said, go in the closet and put the outfit on. I had no idea what the outfit was. So I opened the closet. It was kind of dark. My eyes kind of had to adjust. And there it was. The Spider-Man costume. As I was putting it on, I said to myself, I have been preparing for this moment all of my life. And as I stepped out of the closet, ready for action, I realized, like all superheroes, we need help. So she had to zip me up. So anyway, I exploded. I jumped up on desks. I was shooting webs at the artists and the cartoonists, and the executives actually got into it. And we were blasting each other, and the guys from the studio was going, oh, Spidey, you got me. And they were falling and rolling around. This went on for about 5 minutes. And all of a sudden, I heard a voice in the back of the room that said, You're an idiot. You're hired. And it was the famous founder of Marvel Comics, Stan Lee. And I was hired and went on to do press conferences with Stan. We did photo shoots in Central Park. I did parades. I did charity events. I felt very fortunate, but I was ready. I was prepared because 386 other actors did not make the cut. My favorite was working with families. I would do a lot of mall openings, and I remember showing up at the malls and I'd look down, and as far as the eye can see, there'd be thousands of families with their kids. And for about 10 hours, I would sign autographs and take pictures. It was a great experience to bring so much joy to so many kids. My real favorite were school visits. Kids have an incredible sense of wonderment. And somebody came up to me and said, Spidey, Spidey, shoot a web. Of course, they all wanted to see webs. So I said, you know, I would love to, but I got into such a terrible battle with Rhino Man. My webs were so dirty, I had to get them dry cleaned. And then they said, but Spidey, Spidey, how about walking on the walls? And I said, you know, I'd like to do that for you, but your teacher said she did not want footprints on the ceiling. And then there was the time at the Toledo Zoo, and I was with the Green Goblin when we had a tremendous battle where he tried to have his poisonous snakes eat me. And then there was another time where I was with another actor playing the Hulk. And we were in Atlanta. It was about 100 degrees with about 100% humidity. And he was in this big suit that he couldn't really walk around in very well. But the Hulk, even though he's a good guy, he's kind of violent. And so a pack of about 100 kids thought they wanted to figure out how tough the Green Goblin was. And they started attacking him. So finally I had to step in and convince them that he was really a good guy and a fellow villain crusher of mine. Yes, I was a superhero. I still feel as though I'm a superhero. But you're all superheroes. You've accomplished many things in your life and crushed many villains. And that's why you are here today as part of this terrific event, ready to crush more villains and take advantage of the life-changing opportunities that have been presented here today. But to do this, you've got to believe that you deserve greatness and that you have to have prepared yourself with what I call dynamic readiness, the power to do whatever it takes to succeed, to take immediate action. I remember a quote from the Hulk when he said, you know what scares me the most? When I can't fight it anymore? When it takes over? When I totally lose control? I like it. And that's what you essentially want to do. You want to be so passionate that you lose control and you take every one of your powers to make sure that you deserve greatness. I'll give you an example. When the Green Goblin was ready to throw his nuclear pumpkin bombs at Spider-Man, did Spider-Man send an email? Did he set up a conference call? Did he want it to do more research? Did Superman wait when Lex Luthor, his arch enemy, was about to destroy the world? Did Wonder Woman hesitate to take her golden lasso and fling it at evildoers? No! They crushed them. They didn't hesitate. And this is how you've got to react in the face of challenges or opportunities. you've got to take action without hesitation. So how do you start to crush the villains of self-doubt and procrastination? You've got to remind yourself of all the accomplishments that you have achieved, great and small, that have allowed you to be here today, starting with the fact that you survived birth. And you have survived each day since then to be here now. What I'd like you to do is to take the time to start remembering what you have done and why this year you deserve nothing but the best. I call this strategy the Agenda Destiny. It's already been written. You wrote it. You just have to remember it and appreciate it. In the next 24 hours, I'd like you to get some large pieces of paper. And I want you to write down all the accomplishments in your life. And at the end, you will have a unique list that no other human being has achieved. You can start with the basics. You learn to walk. You learn to tie your shoes. You rode a bike. Or maybe as a single parent, you successfully raised 3 children. You won your 3rd grade spelling bee. You got your MBA while working 3 jobs. Perhaps you watched your father die but had to stay strong for your family. Once you review this long list, you will realize what a warrior you truly are, as you have overcome many obstacles in your life and deserve nothing but greatness in the future. I've done this exercise throughout my life. Each time I was in one of those dark spaces, and we've all been there, where you feel overwhelmed with emotional, financial, or physical problems. In fact, it gets so bad you feel you can't even breathe, and there seems to be no hope in the future. I have seen my wife Nancy of 43 years be pronounced dead 3 different times, and later become paralyzed with a traumatic brain injury. My youngest son was diagnosed with schizophrenia and later almost died on the operating table from aspirating food into his lungs because of a tear in his esophagus. I was once thousands of dollars in debt and had no immediate income source to even pay the rent. Here's a list I put together 10 years ago. And once I reviewed all the accomplishments I had done, I said to myself, if I can achieve all those things, I've got the power to continue to crush the villains before me. You've taken the time out of your day to learn about the metaverse and all its vast potential to enhance your life. And as an educator, I know that knowledge is also a great power. So take the time to learn everything that's being presented to you today and take action to conquer the villains in your life. And prepare yourself for the greatness and become the superhero that you deserve to be. I want to talk just about a few other points in terms of the values of superheroes. One of them is courage. And one great example of courage is that when we are faced with challenges, many times we want to run from the challenges. Let's take a page from the book written by the buffaloes. Buffaloes, like you, must run towards the storm. We must run and face adversity head on. So when the storm crests over the top of the mountain and rolls over the ridge, the buffalo charge directly into the storm instead of running away from it. They run directly into the storm. And by running at the storm, they run straight through it. In other words, they have crushed this villain quickly. In fact, it helps us get through the pain faster to reach the clear weather and the success on the other side. The other value I'd like to talk about is tenacity. One of the greatest statesmen in the world was Winston Churchill of England. And he said in some of the darkest hours of his country, he said, never give in. Never, never give in. Never, never, never. To nothing great or small, large or petty. Never yield to the force against apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. So I say to you, never stop learning, never stop fighting for the goals that you deserve. And isn't it interesting how after we have dug down deep to finally crush adversity, that we forget about the pain and the sacrifices we made in the past? Because I will tell you right now, victory and success make up for a lot of pain. I want to thank you, my fellow superheroes, for your time and your attention. And as my gift to you, as a participant in this event, I will give you free access to my best-selling book, The Superhero Factor. It is your daily playbook for villain-crushing success. Please go out and have an absolutely awesome and terrific day. Keep crushing. And Andy and Miguel and all of my fellow speakers, we thank you. And we are all here to crush the villains that we face every day. Thanks very much.
Tom, that was wow. Hey, I'm ready to crush all my villains.
I'll tell you what, we show them no mercy.
No mercy.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Absolutely.
It's kind of it's good because obviously Cedric was talking about kryptonite, and yeah, there's a kind of theme running through this, and it's brought us right back to the. Yeah, that was incredible, Tom. Absolutely amazing, guys. You can't help but be inspired by what this amazing gentleman has delivered here for us. Just so thankful that he took his time out. And yeah, guys, I put a link actually where you can get your copy of that book. I mean, more than anything, that's what I just loved about what Tom said, was that metaphor for crushing your villains. And I love what you said about, you know, deserving it, because, you know, I'm personally quite guilty. Miguel, I'll even tell you this, of what they call imposter syndrome, where you don't think you're, why am I doing this, or why am I earning this, or why is this success come, or whatever. But yeah, it really resonates with me what you're talking about. Thank you so much. It's an amazing story.
Well, thank you. As I said, it's my absolute privilege to be here. And I will say to you and the audience that I think the book will be so helpful for them, because at the end of every chapter, there are actually action steps that someone can take. So it really is, as I said, like a playbook or a workbook. It's not just something to read. It's something that adults and businesses can use. In fact, I've had businesses actually use my book to share with their employees. If you're a parent and you want to go over these action steps and values with your children, it's a wonderful way to connect with your kids.
That's amazing. Absolutely incredible.
I'm showing. Am I sharing my screen?
Yep.
Yeah, you can see it. You can see it. Guys, you've all got a copy of this.
If you,
it's been shared on all social media.
Yeah, you'll see that at the end of each chapter, if you want to scroll a couple more pages, you will see places
there we go.
where it is.
There we go.
Yep. You've got action steps and you've got thoughts that you learned from each one of the chapters.
Beautiful, beautiful. This
Thank
has
you
been
very
shared
much,
on our
guys.
social media. It's been shared also in our Telegram group. So if you guys want to grab it, that's an awesome giveaway from Tom Schenck. Tom, thank you so much for being here. We have something else that you're going to be awarding, but you don't know it yet.
Watch this. You're going to love this, Tom. Welcome to the metaverse.
Because Tom is about to actually, let me see if I've got it here. Give me 1 second. Is about to award this, but he doesn't know it yet. Tom, your own NFT t-shirt. Tom Terrific.
Oh my gosh, it's my first NFT ever. As I explained to you fellas, I absolutely see the power of not only the incredible crypto opportunities that Brandon was talking about, but the metaverse in general. In fact, I'm listening to everybody, and I'm already looking to take the businesses that I have and really create a powerful presence in the G Meta universe.
That's the thing. If you see, this is what's happening in Crypto Voxels right at this moment. We have the presence. We have you on screen. You see, we have you on screen.
Yep.
We have the presence of a lot of people. There is, for example, here we got someone who I know very well, Coach Dre. We got some of the programmers of Crypto Voxels who created this whole world. We got a lot of people. Shout out to all the visitors that are coming in. Hey, make sure you sign our guest book, okay? If you come to our parcel here in Crypto Voxels, make sure you sign up our guest book, because we will be sending some random NFTs to everyone who actually signs our guest book. Make sure to make some womps, which is right here. If you just go share with everyone. Because this event is really, really incredible. There's been so many golden nuggets, is out of this world. There's also a special promotion today. If anyone is interested in joining our pre-sale, there's a special promotion right here. You can take advantage of that. And we got some really awesome sponsors who would sponsor this event. We got Heal, we got Crypto Voyagers, we got Nowside, we got Sid Said, we got also here Exo BUSD, and my lovely wife, the Bossway, who's been doing most of what you guys see here with the booths and the NFTs and all these wearables. She is just incredible. All right.
Miguel?
Yes?
I've got something else for any particular villain crushers. Anybody that reaches out to you, I will send them a personal autographed picture of Spider-Man. This is back in 1977. It was Midtown Manhattan, and I was on my way to give a speech to donors for multiple sclerosis. So if somebody wants a personalized, hand autographed picture of Spider-Man back in the day, I'd be happy to. If they just want to send their request to you.